Give me 1 second.
MJ? Is everything okay?
Did you send someone to take my ring?
I only wanted more time.
The ring was gone. MJ's fingers searched his jacket pocket once, twice, 3 times. Nothing. Around him, the rooftop restaurant in Atlanta glowed with string lights. Immani stood 2 feet away, hand over her mouth, waiting for the question he had promised her all night. He forced a smile. His heart was pounding. Somewhere between the elevator and this table, his grandmother's wedding ring had disappeared. And in 6 days, it was supposed to open a new life for both of them. Nobody in that restaurant knew what this ring meant. Not the waiter refilling water glasses. Not the string quartet playing softly in the corner. Only MJ knew that ring had survived a war, a border crossing, and 60 years of marriage before it ever reached his pocket. And now it was gone. Before we go further, if stories like this keep you up past midnight wondering what happens next, hit subscribe right now, and turn on notifications, because tonight's ending will surprise you. Drop a comment, and tell me what city you're watching this from. I read every single one. Immani noticed his hands shaking. She thought he was just nervous. She didn't know that 30 seconds earlier, MJ had felt his jacket pocket and found only fabric. MJ, she said softly, are you okay? He forced himself to laugh it off. Just give me 1 second. He excused himself, walked toward the restroom, and called his assistant. No answer. When he returned, Imani's smile had faded slightly. She could feel something was wrong. And in front of everyone watching, she felt exposed, foolish, waiting for a moment that wasn't coming. A couple at the next table whispered and glanced over. Immani caught the look and lowered her eyes. She had planned her whole evening around this dinner, told her sister she thought tonight was the night, and now she wondered if she had imagined the whole thing. She reached for her water glass just to have something to hold on to. That's when a small voice interrupted the tension. Excuse me, is this yours? A little girl, maybe 7 years old, stood at the edge of the table. In her open palm sat a gold ring, engraved with tiny Korean characters. MJ froze. Where did you get this? He asked. The girl's eyes were calm, almost too calm for her age. A lady dropped it by the elevator. She was in a hurry. Then she turned and walked back to a nearby table, where an older woman was waiting for her. MJ stared at the ring in his hand. It was his grandmother's ring. There was no mistake. But who was the woman who dropped it? And why? MJ slipped the ring back into his pocket, this time gripping it so tightly his knuckles turned white. He looked at Immani, really looked at her, the woman who had sat through 2 years of long nights, family tension, and his own stubbornness, and never once asked him to be anyone other than himself. Whatever had happened with the ring, whoever was behind it, none of it mattered more than this moment. He got down on one knee. Immani gasped, tears already forming. Immani Carter, he said. I have loved you since the day you argued with me over a parking spot and won. She laughed through tears. MJ, will you marry me? Yes, she whispered. Yes. The whole restaurant applauded. Champagne arrived. For one perfect moment, everything felt complete. But MJ couldn't stop thinking about the woman who dropped his ring by the elevator. Because only 3 people in the world knew where that ring was hidden that morning. And one of them was his mother. If you've ever felt like happiness was one secret away from falling apart, you already understand where this story is going. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next twist changes everything you think you know about this family. Comment below if anyone has ever tried to interfere in your relationship. 2 days later, MJ visited his mother, Suah Park, at her townhouse. The house was quiet, filled with photographs of a family that had always looked perfect from the outside. Suah was arranging flowers at the kitchen table when he walked in, and she didn't look up right away, as if she already knew why he had come. Did you send someone to take my ring? He asked directly. Suah didn't flinch. I only wanted more time before you did something you couldn't undo. Immani makes me happy. Happiness is not the same as belonging, Suah said. Do you know what people will say about her? About us? MJ's jaw tightened. You had someone steal from me. I had someone borrow it, Suah corrected. I was going to return it before the night ended. You almost humiliated me in front of everyone I love. For the first time, Sua's composed expression cracked. I was trying to protect you from something I once survived myself. MJ paused. What do you mean? Sua looked away. When I married your father, his family rejected me for 2 years. I was the poor girl from Busan who wasn't good enough. I know what that rejection does to a person. I didn't want that for you or for her. It wasn't cruelty. It was fear wearing the mask of control. But knowing her reason didn't undo what she had done. The ring theft was real. The humiliation Imani almost faced was real. This is the part where most people think the story is over, but it isn't. There's one more secret hiding in this family, and it's bigger than anyone expected. Subscribe now if you want to see how far this goes, and tell me in the comments. Could you forgive someone whose fear caused you pain? Imani, unaware of the full conversation, kept returning to one detail. The little girl who returned the ring was in her own first-grade class. Her name was Zoe. The next day at school, during quiet reading time, Imani knelt beside Zoe's desk, keeping her voice gentle so the other students wouldn't notice. Sweetheart, do you remember the lady who dropped that ring at the restaurant? Zoe nodded. She looked like the picture on your phone. Imani frowned. What picture? The one of your fiancé's mom. You showed me once, remember? For the parent night list. Imani sat back slowly. Zoe had just confirmed, without knowing it, exactly who had taken the ring. That evening, Imani confronted MJ. Your mother took the ring herself. Not an assistant. Her. MJ's silence answered the question honestly. Why didn't you tell me? Imani asked, her voice breaking. I stood at that table feeling like a fool and you knew. I didn't want you to feel unwanted, MJ admitted. I was trying to protect you from her, the same way she thought she was protecting me from the world. Protecting me starts with telling me the truth, Imani said. I don't need saving. I need honesty. Word of the incident reached Sua's social circle faster than she expected. Rumors spread that she had tried to sabotage her son's proposal. Now Sua faced the very humiliation she once feared for herself. Being whispered about, judged, excluded. Old friends stopped returning her calls. An invitation to a family gathering quietly disappeared. For the first time in decades, Sua understood exactly how it felt to stand outside a room everyone else was allowed into. And this time, it was Imani who had to decide whether to defend the woman who almost ruined her happiest night. At a family dinner meant to smooth things over, Sua finally told the full truth in front of everyone. 30 years ago, my mother-in-law hid my wedding ring for 6 months, hoping my engagement would quietly fall apart, she said, her voice trembling. I always swore I would never become her. Yet I did the very same thing to the woman my son loves. The room went silent. Then Sua turned to Imani. You remind me of who I was, before I let fear change me. I am sorry. Imani studied her for a long moment. Forgiveness wasn't instant. It couldn't be. I appreciate you saying that, Imani said carefully. But an apology isn't the same as trust. Trust is something you'll have to earn, the same way MJ earned mine. Sua nodded, understanding for the first time that respect isn't inherited. It is built one honest conversation at a time. In the weeks that followed, Sua didn't push, didn't perform, and didn't demand forgiveness on her own timeline. She simply showed up, again and again, until showing up started to mean something. Months later, at their wedding, Zoe was the flower girl, carrying that same ring on a small pillow down the aisle. The ring that had once caused fear, now carrying only meaning. Sua sat in the front row, no longer trying to control the story, only present for it. Beside her sat Zoe's foster mother, invited as a guest of honor, because Imani never forgot who the story truly began with. MJ slipped the ring onto Imani's finger, engraved now with both of their names beneath his grandmother's original inscription. This ring almost tore us apart, MJ said. Now it will outlive both of us, the way real love should. If this story moved you, don't scroll away just yet. Like this video, subscribe for more stories like this every week, and comment where you're watching from tonight. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and I read every comment personally. Some secrets are kept to protect the people we love. But real love was never meant to survive on secrets. It survives on truth, patience, and the courage to say, I was wrong. A ring cannot fix a broken family on its own. But a family willing to face the truth, even when it's painful, can turn an old wound into something worth passing down. If someone ever tried to control your happiness out of fear, tell us below. Did you forgive them? Or did you have to walk away? Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If this story kept you glued to the screen, that's exactly the kind of storytelling this channel is built on. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. Drop a like if you felt something tonight, and leave a comment telling us your favorite moment. New emotional stories drop every week. Turn on notifications so you're first in line. See you in the next story.